Greetings, friends. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, hugs, kiss, kiss. I hope everyone is doing well. And y'all know I don't do long intros, so let's get dirty. When I was last here, it was for my poor keikes, and I'm finally going to pot them. But I have actually potted them. So back in December. Oof. Either way, a video is worth 1,000 words. Isn't that the saying? Either way, I'm potting them here, and then I will show you them now, 4 months in the future, or is it 3? I can't do the math. So, anyways, moving on. I did say no long intros, but don't come for me. Like I said in the previous video, I was going to go with the Chinet cup with packing peanuts at the bottom and the Orchid being the cherry on top. I wasn't sure of the ratio of moss to peanuts, so I opted for less moss and more peanuts, which was fine because they don't have very much for roots, although I need them to start rooting themselves to the pot. Spoiler alert, this setup was awesome and I had to add more moss, so that was a bit tricky. I'm always worried about mold. I have PTSD over mold, so overzealously, I guess, but these beauties have been such troopers. You know the drill, though. Put the ingredients in and just plop them, bouncing baby girls on top. Let's see. All right, so we're getting to the nitty gritty, which is plucking the keikes off. And so I opted for the plucking, as I said, and it was quite easy, just snapped right off. And would you take a look at that? We have that green part of the stem, which I was weary of, but also that part of the spike is going to help me anchor it down. So I gingerly am placing the keiki over the moss, and I did mess with it quite a bit. I just wanted the roots to just be happy, and it was posed in that hanging position, but the leaves will settle once it makes its home. Okay, next, for the roots to settle in more, I'm going to put some moss over them, just a little bit, and that will help to hydrate the orchid a little more, in theory. And and over time, the moss was, okay, let me start over. In theory, over time, the moss was an excellent choice. It just made it its home sweet home and settled right in. And it looks good. I was quite pleased with the positioning, and I was very hopeful. I just knew that it was gonna be a success. I don't know. I felt really good about this setup. So, yep. Okay, I'm gonna try to freestyle this because I don't feel like scripting. Okay, we have here this tiny little keiki, and it's the spike had died. I mean, it's still green, and there's one little root. I think it was 2. Yeah, it was 2, and it was ready to just flourish, but unfortunately, like I said, the spike had died, and it was going to continue to die. You can see right here it was looking pretty soggy, and I decided I would go ahead and put it in water and see if it would you know, grow a little bit more, like through the water, if that makes sense. But moving along to this second keiki, I don't remember, I think this one is the first one that started growing, and it has 3 leaves and what is it, 3 roots. Like I said, probably in the previous video, that's the big 3 that they can ultimately survive and, you know, flourish on their own. Again, I am going to pluck this one right off. You know, looking back on it, I think maybe I could have plucked this little one off, but, you know, I mean, either way, it was a long shot because, I mean, it was just so small and unlikely to survive. So here we go. It's gonna come right off. And would you take a look at that? It just, boop, came right off. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. We're gonna, you know, packing peanuts in the chai net cup. I had put some packing peanuts in some holes. We've got another green little stub that we're just gonna ignore. You know, I was lazy and I didn't feel like putting cinnamon in there, and yeah, I think it went straight into the pot. So I mean, and it was pretty dehydrated. Like, these leaves were done, like there was nothing left. And, you know, flashing to the future, like right now, they rehydrated within a couple days. They were so plump and turgid, and I mean, I couldn't have asked for more. And, you know, I don't really want to ruin it because I want you guys to see just how much they grew and how long the roots got, and more, you know, grew more roots. And I want you to see the new setup where I took out some of the I dropped it. I wanted to show everybody how much moss I had to put back in there or add to it, and I took out some packing peanuts from it in order to, you know, once I looked at it again, there wasn't enough room for the roots to start, you know, growing longer. And yeah. Okay, gosh, I gotta turn down my earphones. Anyways, here we go. Potting it into the moss. Again, we're going to cover, well, I'm gonna carefully pick how I'm gonna put this in there. I think these roots were pointed down a little more, so I had to like make a little hole and kind of gently stick it down in there and let you know, make sure it doesn't break off pushing it downward. Yeah, that gave me a lot of trouble. It was just so unbalanced. Plus I was kind of concerned with the green part that was still like fresh from removing it from the spike. And this gets pretty basic, you know, just wash and repeat, you know. You guys get the gist of what we're doing, so I'm gonna speed this along. Oh my God, I still forgot to turn it down. All right, here we go. We're done. We're finally here. This is the finished project. And like I said, this was like 4 months ago, where it's April 14th, right before Easter. So happy Easter, guys. Um, everyone knows that's, from, here coming back, return viewers, like, I like to get chatty. So I wish I had been able to film a lot of stuff I've been doing. And, it's really kind of some quick fixes, or, watering. Because, man, these orchids are really needy, and they're not needy. Like, they are needy, but they're not needy. So a lot of times my orchids don't get watered for like a month. And then sometimes, I'm messing with them for like, God, like a couple hours, watering all of them. I have 1, 2, 3, I think like 8 of them, maybe 12, whatever. And okay, well, here I think I'm showing how I'm going to put this in water. And it's basic, just ploop, put it in water, and that's that. So anyways, if you guys made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I love you, and I hope you come back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye. Happy Easter. Oh yeah, I'm going to put some pictures here, if maybe not, whatever.